Hey guys, so today we're going to be talking everything about Riku. Everything Riku. That weird 5-head guy. Welcome to... Please listen to my feelings. AKA the best place to find theories about my feelings. This is my thoughts. If there's anything wrong or you would like to fact check, please let me know respectfully in the comments below. I would love to know your thoughts. But yeah, let's just keep it nice, guys. If I'm wrong, it's okay. I'm used to it. And I just wanted to talk about a bunch of theories that I came up with about Riku, just based off of the past episodes and especially this episode that we had last week. He's honestly probably one of the most interesting characters in the show so far, especially him being a new character. It's really hard to guess what he's gonna do because you don't really know what side he's on. Soon I'm gonna have more theories, especially based off of episode 15 about the comet, the black pearl, the rouge, and the rainbow pearls. I have more theories on Zero, Kirinmaru, the prophecy, and Sesshomaru and Rin and all of that stuff. So I have a lot of notes here. Today we're just gonna be focusing on Riku, and let's get started. So Riku is really interesting because we know it's kind of clear that he is not human. In the episode 15 he says, although for me, of course, 18 years feels like no time at all. And as we know, demons tend to live for a long time, right? But that can mean a lot of things. That can mean, one, maybe he's a demon. That can mean maybe he's like a ghost or a type of god, or he is able to time travel because time travel obviously feels like no time has passed. Or maybe he's even half demon, but I kind of doubt he's half demon. I don't know. I just don't really get the feeling that he is, but it's entirely really possible. And there was also other theories that I saw on Twitter of people saying he might be tied to the sacred jewel. Maybe he's a physical form of the sacred jewel. And it's possible because we know Magatsuhi, he's the bad guy or the bad side of the sacred jewel, and then we know Naohi, that is the good side, and we never really met the good side of the sacred jewel. So maybe is Riku the good side? I have no idea, honestly. It's entirely possible. We don't know. And with the whole time travel thing, maybe there's Riku found another way to time travel with more proof that he is not human. Jyubei says, however, with your powers, you could easily destroy the 4 perils. He also says, I for one would never understand love affairs of human beings. How utterly absurd. Nothing good comes from loving a human being. Not for the great dog demon or for Sesshomaru, nothing but destruction. So obviously here he's kind of I don't really understand himself. He never really understands loving a human. How can that be a good thing? I'm kind of leaning towards he just isn't human, but maybe not a demon. I really think he's some sort of spirit or some entity, some powerful entity or something that can take the form of a human. Also at the end of episode 15 we also see him hiding behind a pillar, watching the whole interaction with Inukag, Kirinmaru, and Sesshomaru with Jokin happen. And obviously if he was actually there, I guess you could say, Sesshomaru and Kirinmaru would sense his presence. They would know he's there, right? But for some reason he's able to conceal himself. Maybe it's something similar to the Fuyo Heki, if you guys remember in the original series, where Miroku was concealing his presence, his demonic aura on Mount Hakure using the Fuyo Heki. The Fuyo Heki conceals his demonic energy or whatever, so no one was able to find where he was for the longest time, for a whole season. Everyone was just where is this man? But yeah, he was hiding on Mount Hakure. So maybe Riku found a way to conceal his presence using something similar to the Fuyo Heki, or he's just not a demon and he's just able to conceal himself in his own way, because I don't know. And then it kind of leads me to the question of the first scene of that episode, of episode 15, where he's with Hosenki. He's using the green pearl, right? He gave Hosenki the green pearl so he can speed up the process of creating the black pearl. Where did Riku get the green pearl? So during this flashback 18 years ago, we kind of assume who has the pearls during this time. So obviously Sesshomaru at one point, when he gets the pearls from Lady Joka, he says, oh no, this is Zero's tears. It's safe to say that all of the rainbow pearls are made from Zero's tears, and I have a whole theory on that, so stay tuned. With the rainbow pearls, it's obvious that it came from Kirinmaru's part of the family, right? We have 7 pearls. 4 of them are obviously with the perils, and then 2 of them were with Lady Joka, possibly given to her by Zero, and then the 1 is from Riku. We know that he has ties to Kirinmaru, obviously. He was like, I'm having trouble finding my way back to my ship. As one abandoned by his master, it's more than I deserve. So he was abandoned by his master, kicked off of the ship. The only person we know on this show who has a ship is Kirinmaru. Where did he get the green pearl, right? So he had it 18 years ago. Is it possible that he was still with Kirinmaru's squad at the time? Was he kicked out already? It's possible that he was already kicked out during that time since he was kind of just doing his own thing. Was it given to him before he left, or did he steal it before he left? Or maybe he stole it and then he got kicked out. Or maybe like if he is a half demon and then Zero found out about the prophecy, did they kick him out because he's half demon or something? I don't know. Really quickly, I wanted to do more like similarities of Riku with like Kirinmaru's squad or like his family. Basically, everyone caught on to the whole grape thing and how Kirinmaru doesn't like grapes and then Riku also doesn't like grapes. So it's just like father-son thing. Like I had a theory in the past. One of you guys commented on my video saying that it's possible that Riku could be a past version of Kirinmaru, and then the teacher in the future is the future version of Kirinmaru, and then the present one in the feudal era is the present version of Kirinmaru. And I still really like that theory, so it's still really possible, but I don't know. But yeah, they both don't like grapes, and obviously they still have like the same color eyes, they have the same color hair. Obviously Riku's is straight and then Kirinmaru's is curly, but like sometimes in life hair changes. I don't know, maybe he just got like a hair curler curls his hair in the morning. I don't know. And another thing is that he knows the perils. During the episode with Kyuki where she dies, Riku just appeared and then she was like, "Oh, it's you, Riku." Like she was like surprised and he's just like, y'all suck, and then like killed her. And another thing that I kind of caught on and like noticed a lot. Okay, Kirinmaru, we haven't really seen him talk that much yet, but they say slang the same, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. Riku, in the episode with Kyuki where she dies, he meets Jyubei and he says, "Night fishing, you've got taste." And then Riku was saying how, "Oh, I hate the 4 perils," and he said, "They lack taste." And then at the end of episode 15, he says, "Come on now, don't be hasty, it's poor in taste," you know? Like it's like a slang type of thing, right? And then in the episode where we first see Kirinmaru, or we first meet him, Kyuki goes to him telling him, "Oh, like the daughters of Sesshomaru killed Tokotsu, one of your underlings. We should take care of them before they cause more trouble for you." And then Kirinmaru takes a grape and then spits it out and he says, "It's not to my taste." And everyone was like, "Oh, it's just like he doesn't like grapes." Everyone took it really literal. And then I remember, like, if you go back on my old theory video, I was like, what if he doesn't really mean it literally? What if he means, oh, like destroying or like getting rid of Sesshomaru's daughters is not to my taste? And I think that's what he meant. I still think that's what he meant, that destroying the girls or whatever, getting rid of them, is not to his taste. Mainly because Riku says like the same thing in a slang way and not literally, right? It's really interesting to me, right? And another thing, like I still to this day believe Kirinmaru is not bad. I still believe to this day Kirinmaru is not a bad guy. He's not the bad guy here. It might be Zero, but I don't know. I'll talk about it more in a future video. But again, if we look at the episode with Miyoga where he first comes in, it's the episode with Tokotsu, the first peril who dies, basically. The girls basically explain to Miyoga like, "Oh, you know, Kirinmaru, yeah, he's like trying to destroy the world and return it to a degenerate age or whatever." And then Miyoga says, "I find it hard to believe such resplendent beast king would hold such ambitions." So I'm holding on to Miyoga's words and believing that Kirinmaru isn't really the bad guy here. Like maybe he'll do questionable stuff in the future, but I doubt he's the bad guy here. Because we got to see him more in episode 15, I kind of came to the conclusion that Kirinmaru doesn't make his own decisions. He kind of like listens to everyone around him and then just believes them right away. He doesn't like question anything. He doesn't like make his own like decisions. It's always like some sort of influence that triggers him to do something, right? Because like in the beginning where we first see him, it was like Kyuki saying we should get rid of the girls, and then Kirinmaru's like, "It's not to my taste." But then Kyuki's like, "Very well then, I'll take matters into my own hands," right? Kirinmaru wasn't really gonna do it, but then Kyuki was like, "I'll just do it myself." Kirinmaru was kind of like, "Oh, whatever," like. And then with Zero, it was kind of clear that in the episode, Kirinmaru didn't really care much for Sesshomaru and Inuyasha. He woke up from his sleep and then he was like, oh, like, why'd you wake me up? Like, Inuno Taisho's sons must have defeated the comet for me, like, whatever, right? He was all chill with them, whatever. He knew Inuyasha's half-demon, whatever. And all of a sudden, Zero was just like, yo, Sesshomaru had half-demon kids. And do you remember that prophecy that the Shikon Jewel gave us? Like, you're gonna die, basically, right? And all of a sudden, he's like, okay, I'm gonna kill Inuyasha, right? Like, okay. He just believed her so quickly, like, I don't know, it was weird. And then at the end of the episode, when Sesshomaru put Inukag into the Black Pearl, Kirinmaru was like, yo, did you help them? And then he's just like, oh, what? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Jaken was like, oh, it's better that they stay there for now because we're gonna need Mido Sangetsuha in the future. And then Kirinmaru was like, okay, right? So it's just like, he's so weird. Like, he doesn't really have personality, in my opinion. It's so odd. It's so odd. He doesn't have, I guess you could say, the cliche power that a ruler would have, I guess you could say, because a ruler wouldn't like take shit from other people. Like, he wouldn't like believe what they say, but like, he's kind of just like, okay, like, you said this, I'm gonna go with it. Okay, you said this, I believe you. It's just like, it's like really weird, you know? Like, I found his personality being like really odd for a ruler. Anyways, I went on a whole tangent about Kirinmaru, but I'll talk about him more in a future video, him and Zero, and then more connections with Riku and like Kirinmaru's, you know, people. So we all know that Kirinmaru and Osamu Kirin, who is Towa's English teacher in the modern era, have the same voice actor in both English and Japanese. So that clearly means something. That's like the biggest like hint. And also that like his eyes are being hidden. So it's just like, I guess that's like the biggest giveaway. We also know that Kirinmaru has like his mask and he hides one of his eyes. I said this in a past video, but I wanted to like mention it again really quickly. But the teacher's connection with Riku here, since we're talking about Riku, is that they both like to quote like English proverbs. In the first episode that we see the English teacher, he says, when in Rome, do as the Romans do. And that's a quote from Saint Augustine, and he is known as a Christian or a Catholic philosopher, basically. And then in the episode that we first meet Riku, he says, unbelievable, a taste like this would surely banish you from paradise. Lady Towa, you fed me the forbidden fruit. And he says forbidden fruit in like English. I don't know, you could fact check me on that, but that basically referenced the Bible Genesis about Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden, which is really interesting. When I first watched it, I was like, what? It's really interesting that they have that connection as well. And even though it's kind of a stretch, but I think these three people are still very connected somehow, if not the same person, just in some way that they're connected. I also wanted to talk about like, what are Riku's intentions? Riku's intentions are so hard to grasp because it's like, what side is he on, right? Like, he's always like super nice to the girls, but then he plans on stealing their pearls. He has some hate towards Sesshomaru and Inudad, but then he also hates the pearls. So it's just like, what do you want, Riku? Like, what do you freaking want? At the end of episode 15, he says, I'm glad the Black Pearl and Lady Izayo's rouge were useful. And obviously, he was the one who kind of was the one who obtained it, who helped like make the Black Pearl. He gave it to them and he was like, oh, it was useful. I'm like, yay. But it's like, it was only useful and it was only like a good thing for Sesshomaru and like Inuyasha and Inukag or whatever, because the Black Pearl ended up protecting Inukag and the rouge does protect Moroha. It didn't really work in the favor of Kirinmaru, I guess you could say, if we're still seeing him as like the bad guy here, which like technically he is, but I still feel like he's good. Like, he's not the real threat here. Anyways, and I also thought that was really interesting how Riku just like appeared randomly. He was like, yo, like, you don't know me, but I know you. The world's gonna end. This is how to save it. Telling her all this information, like, I would be like, stranger danger. Like, who are you? Like, why are you telling me all this stuff? I would like awkwardly walk away and be like, yeah, crazy guy. I'll be avoiding you now. And then the comment actually comes and then the world explodes. But like, both Riku and Zero went up to Sesshomaru and Kagome, like, obviously separately, but they told them the same thing. Like, Riku just basically explained what the comet was and like the history behind it and like what to do to prevent it or to fix the issue or whatever, to save the world. But then he also mentions how Kirinmaru and Inudad were usually the ones who took care of it, but since Inudad is gone, Kirinmaru is there, but Kirinmaru's asleep, and if he does wake up, he's gonna come after like Rin's daughters, Kagome's daughter and Inuyasha, because he's not fond of humans or whatever, which I don't think was entirely true, again, because when he woke up he was like, why you wake me up? The comment is like basically taken care of, right? Because like Inudad's like kids like took care of it, right? Like, he had no problem with Inuyasha, like, I swear, until Zero just like put into his head is like, you're gonna die because of the prophecy, which I think the prophecy is kind of cliche. But anyways, I thought it was really interesting that Zero also said the same thing. She was like, yo, Sesshomaru, like, do you remember that comment? Which I also think, I'm pretty sure Sesshomaru was alive for the first comment, and I'll talk about it more in depth in this future video as well. But Zero was telling Sesshomaru like, yo, do you remember that comment? It's gonna come again in a few days. You better hide your kids before Kirinmaru wakes up because like he's gonna kill them. Yeah, I thought it was kind of weird that both of them kind of went to them and said the same information. And then Riku also not really hates humans, but he's more like loving humans. I don't understand it. Gonna bring chaos and destruction. Not gonna work for Sesshomaru or Inudad or whatever, right? So it's like, if he helped them 18 years ago, why does he feel this way towards Inudad and Sesshomaru now? So it's just like, did something happen in between those 18 years? Maybe Riku actually was in cahoots with Kirinmaru or still a squad with them during that time 18 years ago. And then sometime in between the 18 years, they severed ties and he got yeeted off of the ship. But I'm not really sure. I really am not sure. And maybe that's why he thinks that way. And like, we do know that like, he's not really mean to the girls, but it's just like, he's so suspicious because of the past and the fact that he's gonna steal the pearls from them. Well, technically, it didn't really belong to them in the first place, so like it's not a big deal in my opinion. I thought it was also interesting how when Kyuki died, Riku actually helped Moroha get the bounty for it. When he killed her, he only like melted her skin off and like killed her and like left the bones and the remains so she can collect her bounty. And I thought that was really interesting because like literally every other mission, like almost all the other missions, Moroha wasn't able to collect a bounty, and she's been working for Jyubei for 3 years. Oh my gosh. Okay, I saw on Twitter people were saying, oh, what if like Kirinmaru and Midoriko, who is the creator of the sacred jewel, she was human, but she was a really very strong priestess. Maybe her and Kirinmaru had a thing. Like, what if they had a thing in the past? And I always thought about this in the past, like before even Yashahime was a thing. I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we had a prequel. Like, what if like Inudad was like friends with like Midoriko? That'd be so cool. Like to have like a story about that or something. So it's like, it's really interesting because like I'm pretty sure Kirinmaru, Inudad, whatever, was alive during Midoriko's time, right? So it's really possible that like, what if Kirinmaru has some ties with Midoriko? Maybe they had a thing. Maybe Riku is a product of that thing that happened. Or maybe Kirinmaru's like memories go wiped or something. Or what if Riku was the one who had a thing with Midoriko? I don't know. Like, we can't really tell like what their ages are, right? When I saw like fan art on Twitter, like of people like kind of conspiracying about like Midoriko and like Kirinmaru, I was like, whoa, that's actually really good. But yeah, so like, what if Riku is a product of Midoriko and Kirinmaru? Right? Maybe that's why he has a big forehead. It's genetics. Moving on to, how does Riku know Hosenki? We know that they kind of met up or whatever, but it's just like, how did we get to that point? Like, how did Riku get the rouge? Is so odd, right? It's so odd because like, if we remember, like the rouge is it's not like a powerful object that like you want to like keep with you forever. It's not known. It's not like the sacred jewel or the pearls where it's like you want to obtain, you want to protect. The rouge is just like a piece of lipstick that like just belonged to Inuyasha's mother, so it's easy for that stuff to like get lost, right? As we seen in the episode, Inuyasha did really give it to Kikyo in the past, right? How did Riku get it? Like, where did he find it, right? It's just like probably like in the grass somewhere, like in the forest, like I don't know. Apparently broke in the show, right? It's just like, how did he get it? Like, how did this happen? It's just so odd. It's very odd. It could either be bad writing or just like, what if there's a deeper meaning behind it, right? Based off of the interaction of Hosenki and Riku, that whole thing could have been Riku just like met up with Hosenki. Hosenki's like, yo, like I have this like commission. I'm an apprentice. I don't know what I'm doing. I have to make this black pearl, but it's gonna take me like 100 years. Like the people who commissioned me are gonna die by then. Like what the heck? I'm stressed. And then what if like Riku was like, yo, like I have this green pearl. Like, do you want to borrow it and like speed up the process? Like, what if something like that happened? Or what if like Hosenki just like knows Riku somehow and was like, hey, like, can I borrow your pearl? Like, I just want to speed up this process for this commission that I'm working on, right? It can happen either way. But then it's just like, also like, how did he find out that the pearl was created from Izayo's tears? And like, how did he know that like getting the rouge, because obviously they can't get the tears of Izayo because she's dead. How did they know that the rouge would be a good substitute of that, right? And like, just like, how did he get it? It's just, not working. It's just like, that's where I really think that he's time traveling somehow. What if like he is the past version of Kirinmaru, and what if that does explain like the lack of like, I guess you could say energy and like personality Kirinmaru has? Like all of it is like on younger Riku, and then something traumatic happened, and then like he just like became like that, right? I don't know. Or another thing that could have happened with Hosenki and Kirinmaru, what if like they did know each other in the past? Because what if Hosenki made Riku's earring, right? Because as we know, Riku has like this earring. I thought it was a pearl at first, but it obviously isn't, because there are 7 of them only, and like the 7 of them can be counted from other people. So his earring obviously is not a pearl, but it's something else. Like what if it's like a prototype, or what if it's like a special case or a special commission that Riku missioned? What if it's like Midoriko's tears that made that earring, so like it has like this really special and strong spiritual power, right? Or power to do stuff, right? So all we know so far is that this earring that Riku has can allow him to waterbend, create gold, summon Takichiyo, kill. I think that's all about it so far. And I thought it was also really interesting how when he was waterbending, Towa was like, yo, like how'd you do that? It's like magic or something. And then he was like, anyone can do it. Like all you have to do is like believe or whatever, right? And then Towa's just like, well, okay. I don't know. It's really interesting because obviously it's not true that just anyone can do that, right? Like waterbend, like unless you're born with it, unless you're the avatar, I don't know. And like another thing with the green pearl, Riku let Hosenki borrow the green pearl, and then currently Jyubei has it, right? So it's just like, what is Jyubei using the pearl for? So he's like another factor, another question mark in my head. What is he using the pearl for? What if he's using it like to gamble, to get all of like his gambling stuff correct, right? So he can get more money. Maybe that's how Moroha's master got in such deep debt. He was cheating the whole time. What if, right? And then like, what if like Moroha finds out that Jyubei was cheating? She doesn't have to do the debt thing anymore. But I don't know. That's just like a really random theory that I just like literally created just now. And we also know that Riku is collecting all of the pearls. He's planning to take the rest from the perils and the girls, right? So we know that at some point for sure he's gonna obtain all of them. And I really wonder what it is, what he's gonna collect them for, because it seems like it's something really urgent, or like something that like has a time frame to do. He says, I just wonder if I can wait until I have all 7 pearls. It seems like it's something really urgent that maybe he might not even be able to wait until he could obtain all of the 7 pearls to do whatever he's trying to plan to do. So it seems like there's some like time crunch with this plan of his. And another question is like, how does he know so much stuff, right? Like he must have been there for like everything, or he just like has ears everywhere somehow, right? How does he know about the comet and its history? How does he know about Kirinmaru? How he's like in a big long slumber? And I want to talk about like his slumber more later. Like that just seems really interesting. Like why is Kirinmaru in a long slumber? Why was it so emphasized, right, in this episode, right? How does he know that Rin is currently giving birth to half-demon kids? Like what the heck? And then like, how does he know that Kagome is freaking pregnant, right? Like I don't know, like do you tell that to everyone? Like I'm pregnant. Like, is that a rumor that you tell everyone? Is it as common knowledge that everyone knows those stuff? Like, as the fact that everyone knows that Kagome is the one who saved the world and like yeeted the freaking Shikon Jewel out of the world or whatever? Like, that's obviously not common knowledge. So it's just like, how does he know that, right? Like, he either like just like heard rumors everywhere, or he was physically there for everything, or like he was just like eavesdropping on everyone. Like, what if he was like concealing his presence during the conversation that Kagome and Sango just had near the house, and overheard them talking about the twins that were going to be born and how Kagome's pregnant. So it's just like, Riku, it's not really polite to be listening on like other people's conversation. So yeah, so he must have been there for everything. When Hosenki was giving the pearl and the rouge to Inukag, the twins' birth, Zero talking to Sesshomaru fighting Lady Doka and taking the babies, Jokin's barrier, the comet, Zero and Kirinmaru and Sesshomaru's conversation at the ship, Sesshomaru and Kirinmaru versus Inukag, Zero using dream trap spell on the twins, and the fire. If he was breaking the fourth wall, telling the audience all of this stuff, it's just like he was probably there for all of it, concealing his presence, eavesdropping, looking at like the sidelines in the background. He was probably there for all of it. What is his intentions? How can he conceal his presence? And it's just like, what is he planning to do with all of this information? What part does he play in all of this? Because it seems like no one really knows him other than like Kirinmaru's squad, like the the perils, right? So it's like, where does he fit into all of this stuff, like the prophecy? And like with the fire, like what if Riku was in the fire, right? What if he was the one that saved Setsuna, right? If he was there, I guess you could say, like what if he was there? If this was his telling, what if he was there? What if he was the one who saved Setsuna or pushed Towa into the portal, right? This show has such a big like reputation of not going as how we expected, but it's just like not in an amazing way, in a kind of a lame way. As in, like, an example, like the last episode, we were all like, oh my gosh, like what if Koga was the one who raised Moroha? Like what if he trained her how to fight and all this stuff? And then no, it was just some random lady who gambled, sold freaking Moroha off to Jyubei to pay off her debt, and then she ended up getting killed by Moroha. I don't know, it's just odd. It's not like what we expect. So I feel like it's very, 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 very possible that Rin or Jokin or Sesshomaru was there during the fire and saved Setsuna, or pushed Towa into the portal. I feel like they're gonna like not really let us down, but like it's just gonna be like, oh, it was Riku who's like saved them. Again, with Riku knowing everything somehow, there is this big part where I kind of noticed in the show, reoccurring thing in the show, everyone somehow hears rumors. So in episode 1, we hear Yotsume, he was like, there used to be rumors in the Musashi province talking about like Inukag and their adventures. And then we hear in this episode 15, Hosenki saying, I heard a rumor that you inherited Adamant Barrage. And then we hear Riku saying, words of your deeds have spread much further than you imagine, you know? Like you heard rumors about Gome's identity. And then we hear Zero saying, word is that you had twins, or was it half demon twins? And another one is Hosenki again saying, I heard that these were originally the tears of the dog demon's wife, Lady Izayoi. Episode 16, Moroha's master was like, oh, I heard you mastered the Crimson Dragon Wave, right? Who is telling these rumors? Everyone. And I really think it's Riku. All these people are like, I heard a rumor, word has it, I heard this, blah, blah, blah. And just like at the end of the episode, he tells us, he spreads this gossip, he tells like the rumors to us, right? So it's just like, it makes sense that it's Riku. Not only he's telling all this information to all of the characters in the show, other than the 3 girls, but he tells the audience as well. So it's just like, wow, what a full circle type thing. And like the last point that I want to talk about is Riku's kind of similarities to another character that I know in like a different story. But there's this story or this webtoon called A Good Day to Be a Dog, and spoilers by the way if anyone's reading that, but there's this character, his name is Bogum, and Bogum basically is a spirit or a god of a mountain, and basically a long time ago, like he fell in love with a human, and then basically the human died because of another couple's relationship. It was an accident though. That couple causing the accident, the spirit Bogum dedicated his life to follow the reincarnations of that original couple and kind of like not really kind of torment them, like to see if like they truly love each other in a way, like if their spirits truly love each other. And it's just like it was like a big huge test thing. Like the reason why I'm saying this is like, what if like Riku's kind of similar? Like what if Riku is some type of like entity, a spirit, kind of following the story of like Inukag, Sesshomaru, Rin or whatever, and like Kirinmaru or whatever, and like what if he's like kind of just watching in the sidelines, following the story and trying to make everything right again? He's the one who is angry that Kirinmaru and like Sesshomaru took different paths or whatever, and what if he's the one who wants to like have everything back in order, back in how as it should be, right? Like what if like he's something like that? And like I just thought of Riku and Bogum because like their characters, their personalities are really similar, like really laid back, just kind of like expecting everything, knowing how everything's gonna play out, like nothing surprises them. They just like know everything and how it's gonna go. They're just like really similar characters in my opinion. So like what if like Riku has like the mastermind behind a lot of this stuff? I really hope he is, because like he's just like the most interesting character in this show so far. Yeah, I'm really excited to see more of Riku in the next episode of Yashahime. And I think that's all basically of my theories or my thoughts so far. So just to sum it up really quickly, Riku clearly not human, has something against demons liking humans. Riku obviously got the green pearl from Kirinmaru somehow, probably stealing it or was given to him. He used to be a part of their squad, but now he's not for some reason. He has a lot of connections and similarities to Kirinmaru. Kirinmaru probably most likely not the actual bad guy here. character. Riku's intentions are really odd because he seems to not really have a side in this whole thing. What are his ties with Hosenki? How did he get the rouge? How does he know all this information about everyone? Who is spreading all these rumors? Why is he breaking the fourth wall? And yeah, that's basically my theories and thoughts and stuff about Riku. Really interesting character. I really enjoy him. Like, other than like Moroha and like seeing the gang back and like the twins and stuff like that, I think I really like looking forward to seeing Riku, and not in the way where like, oh my god, Riku, but just like, you're so odd and interesting. Like, I just want to know more about you, you know, type of like energy. So I'm really excited to see him in the next episode. But yeah, that's all of my theories for now. Stay tuned for more theories in the future because I have a lot to say. I just didn't want to put them all in one video because it's just gonna be way too much. Oh my gosh, because I have so much to say. But I'm really excited to show more thoughts and analyses of like the different characters and topics that I want to talk about in the future. Later this week, hopefully, I'll just film them really quickly since they're all planned out now. I think honestly, like planning out the videos is like longest part because like there's just a lot of research and kind of like, you know, like looking back and forth on different episodes and collecting information and like thoughts and stuff like that. So I think that's all for today. Thank you so much for watching. Join the Discord, link in the description below. We're a really cute family over there. Participate in like the discussion questions or discussion posts every week for the new episodes, so your comments could possibly be in my reaction videos every week, but they're in the community tab if you want to participate. We also have Studio Ghibli watch party nights on the Discord every Friday 8 p.m. EST. We watch 2 Ghibli movies. This week we have Kiki's Delivery Service and Only Yesterday, and I think that's about it. Follow me on Twitter. I post a lot about inuyasha, Yashahime stuff and just life things. Follow me on Instagram if you want, and yeah, I think that's all. Don't forget to subscribe, put your post notifications on because my upload schedule is really random, and I think it's gonna be random for a while because it's hard to have a schedule. But yeah, I think that's all for today, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye. Thanks for watching.